Good morning. Welcome to Waste Not Wednesday. We go live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and we make over junk, things that we need to get rid of, home decor, and turn them into things that we sell at our shop at JamieRayVintage.com or use in our home and in our retail store here in Lehi, Utah. Today we're working on a couple of fun projects. I am going to be doing some like Chippy layered corbels, and Zeb is fixing a frame of a mirror that we bought in England. So these corbels I'm doing because recently we sold a bunch of corbels. It was like yesterday or the day before, and we're going to be shipping them out. And there's going to be a spot in the shop where there's not going to be any corbels. And these are some old styles that we used to make. And they're just what we have left. And I've just decided to paint them up, get them sold. And then maybe in the new year, we'll come out with some new ones. Zeb's wanting to do some more things with his CNC. It's time.
It's been down for a while, not because it hasn't been working, but because
Zeb
haven't been working
on that. We do have a few more raw MDF corbels. I'll have Caitlin link them a few times during this video. So if you do want to get your hands on a corbel, I don't know that we have any more sets, but we have a couple of odd ones. And it'll probably be your last opportunity to get the styles that we used to carry, just because we're going to create some new ones.
Yeah, it's fun to do new things. And I have this old mirror. This is an old plaster mirror, and it's got the thing that's special about this mirror is it's got this old antique domed mirror on it. And those are hard to get, even modern mirrors like that. And the plaster, this cracked into about 4 pieces getting shipped home. It's my fault. I only had foam around it. I didn't quadruple bubble wrap it.
When you're shipping mirrors, you want to put bubble wrap front and back, then foam, then cardboard. That's kind of our rule of thumb for shipping mirrors. So we know better. We were just tired. And I'm going to get asked this question, so let me just do it before I forget. This is anvil and gray skies mixed together. I had to mix in some little black dress because I didn't have enough anvil, but you could get this smoky dark gray color just by mixing anvil and gray skies in the cottage color line. So now you guys know what my base coat is. And I'm going to paint all 4 of these corbels with this before I milk paint them.
So all those little white chips and holes and things, those are like little pieces I either couldn't salvage or they got powdered because the plaster is very old that was in the bottom of the box, or I just didn't find them. And they're all over everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be filling this with air dry clay. I've just got some wood glue out to adhere that to the mold. I probably am not going to do too much shaping of the mold. I just want to fill like the big, like there's a big hole right here that I'm just going to fill up. I glued all the big pieces back on and it's nice and sturdy again. And then I'm going to paint it with some golden ticket, maybe do some dark waxing to kind of bring some of that age back. I may not do heavy dark waxing because it currently doesn't have like a lot of like grunge to it. It's just like this old style golden paint that they had, almost like a bronzy gold.
There's a lot of details in these corbels. I think when we redesign them, I'm going to make them.
When I designed those, I was like experimenting with how far I could go with the design and still keep it like a simple design.
Yeah. Without
going like really ornate with routed edges and things like that and tool changes. Because
changes are time that we don't have.
Yeah, you got to really babysit them. On my machine doesn't do automatic tool changes, so you know, that's like a $20,000 machine these days.
Well, one down, 3 to go.
I'm just kind of forcing this down in here. You could use, if you had like a similar repair and you didn't have air dry clay, you could use like a wood putty or something. I just find that the air dry clay really acts kind of like the natural plaster would have and gives us that old look without a lot of effort.
We have a video coming out tomorrow. We went to the Goodwill bins and then Zeb did some book stacks with some ribbon and whatnot, little crafty bit at the end of that. And then Friday, we're going to have our video for the release of the new DIY clay-based color. So that'll come out Friday. I think it's 11 a.m. Utah time, 10 a.m. California time, whatever that is for you. math wise, but we'll have a video coming out with all the new colors, and we're going to be doing some thrift flips. We did some shopping Tuesday. Yeah. So yesterday for that. It's been a long week already, if you can't tell. And we'll get that video out. So I'm excited to do that. So that's why there's not as much painting in the thrift flips this week, because in the thrifting videos, because we've got an extra video just painting some thrift flips. So.
Well, we went in that video, we went thrifting for the stuff. So it should be a fun video.
So Friday will be some thrifting and some flipping and all the new DIY colors. We're doing a collab with Debbie again and some other retailers. So we'll have a whole playlist. You can watch ours and everybody else's. And then we're going to finish Christmas decorating so we can have the week of Thanksgiving. We'll probably have our Christmas home tour video out. We started it. I always get my tree up like the 1st or the 2nd, but it takes me literally all month to get it done.
That means I have a lot of projects to do on other parts of the house. This room almost always looks pretty well pulled together.
The family room.
The rest of the house is like decently picked up, but we live there. We live in here too. But
well, when we did the fall decorating in here, we shoved a bunch of stuff under the stairs.
I got to fix that.
And it's been there ever since then. So we got to fix that. And then we got to put up the kids' tree. They'll decorate their own tree. And with this year, we're putting Christmas lights on the shop. We had our guy that puts the Christmas lights on our house come by the shop. It's like the one thing that Zeb will allow me to hire out without too much fuss. And we really want to light up the shop because it's so dark, so early this time of year.
Yeah, it's like full dark at like 5:30.
So we thought it'd be great because Christmas, but also just help light up the shop at night. So we've got that going on. And I ordered some garlands to put around the door at the shop. So it'll be a little bit more festive. We'll get our nutcrackers out. So still more decorating going on at the shop. So I'll probably include that in some videos as well. Every year I invest a little bit more. Like last year, we invested all the garlands for the banisters. This year I invested in garlands around the front door, 2 fake trees for by the front door. And then I think I have 2 wreaths coming for our front 2 windows. I've used live wreaths from Trader Joe's in the past, but it would be less expensive, less maintenance, and better to just have ones that I can reuse every year and then replace when they start to get grungy.
Well, and we always throw them out late. So by the time we get rid of them, they're like crunchy, shedding and falling apart.
Yeah.
when they're the live ones.
Let's see. Lizzie says, love your creativity. It's funny. I was behind a car last night that had plates that said Zeb on it. That is funny. It's not a super common name.
Sometimes it just happens by accident. I think I've seen one other plate like that. And it was just like the numbers with, you know, I don't think it was like one of those on purpose customized plates. But you never know, you know, maybe the name's making a resurgence. It was popular in the 1800s. I don't think it was wildly popular. You don't see a lot of Zebulons, but more popular than it is now.
The front door, my trees are from Home Depot. They had like was it a wooden basket they came in? I put them in olive buckets because that's what I have.
They have a little wood basket on them, but we just dropped that down in your olive buckets that never leave the porch.
Yeah, olive buckets transition all the seasons. So I just threw them in there and I'm pleased with them. And they actually were about what I pay for live trees, maybe even a little less, and they're lit. So we're good. The only thing is I didn't make it sure that my garland for the front door was LED. They're just regular Christmas lights. So I don't know how long those will last, but they weren't super spendy. And I'm not sure that the garlands I ordered for the shop are lit. So I might just put them up without lights.
Okay, I think I have all of the big holes filled. I'm just using the brush to kind of like round out where I mushed it in so that it doesn't look like I just pressed it down in there. Get rid of all the excess. There's a little bit of chip right there. Some glue on that.
We haven't decided what we're doing for Thanksgiving this year. It's a busy time of year and I like to enjoy it. So we usually either go out to eat or we'll like have something brought in. I was thinking about Chinese food, but I need to double check and see which Chinese restaurants are open on Thanksgiving and get that ordered and ready to go.
You're probably late if you wanted to have it catered. You probably needed to order
I think Chinese food would probably still be good. They're really good about getting
but if you wanted to do like a traditional Thanksgiving, all the caterers are filled up by like September up here.
Yeah, that's true. I should have checked with Mitchell's mom and see if she's doing Thanksgiving catering, but that's okay. And then we'll just have pie. And I know that's not traditional or whatever, but we're super busy. And I decided a long time ago that I'm not killing. I want to enjoy Thanksgiving too. And because we're so busy at work, it's just so
Well, we
much
have
nicer.
Black Friday the next day, and that's like a whole weekend between Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. That's not a holiday for us.
Yeah. And my family all really likes Chinese food, and I'll make all the pies. Then I could just focus on the pies, which is really everybody's favorite part anyways.
Yeah, I'm to the point now where I could just go for pies. I will cheat and eat pies.
Well, you don't have to cheat because I'll make the crust with commit. Can you explain clay-based paint? So the clay-based paint, this is our regular paint, or not regular, but our mineral base that has a built-in sealer that I'm using. The clay-based paint is literally that. It's clay-based. It has, as far as I know, the most amount of clay in the market. It makes it an artisan paint with natural highs and lows, and it requires 5 times more pigment than regular paint because of the clay. So it's really saturated. And that's the reason why so many other companies don't put as much clay, and they put a lot of other filler ingredients in their paint, because it is more expensive to make. So the clay-based paint is 9 ingredients, and one of them I think is love, and it's on the jar.
So 8 ingredients, and then all the sweat and tears.
Yeah, and then like this paint that I'm using is water, silicate, acrylate, polymer, waxes, chalk, titanium dioxide, preservative. Anyways, it's not a lot of ingredients in this either. And the thing about DIY paint and the cottage color, if you have them for a long time, expose them to air, possibly contaminate them because you're dipping in the jar, they can sometimes get a little bit of a smell to them after a few months, but when you paint with it, it dissipates. It's just because it's all natural, no VOCs. It's not low VOC, it's no VOC. So, and I have enough VOCs in my life. All right, almost done, guys. Sorry. And then I'll show you how to mix up some milk paint. And for those of you guys that are new here, this may be a new technique. For those of you guys that have been around for a while, you have definitely seen me layer up corbels before. Sometimes I add a little salt wash for texture. I didn't do that this morning because it does take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm doing kind of a simple finish with just a cottage color base. And if you wanted to do these and you wanted a darker base, you could totally just use Anvil. Anvil is a great dark base, has the built-in sealer. You'd be good to go. I just had to mix them up because I'm trying to use up paint. I do that a lot. It's a good way to waste not.
All right, so I didn't wait for this to really dry. They're small little pieces, and I really mushed them down in. They got a lot of glue on them. So I think, and you're going to still see a couple of the little cracks here and there, and I think the dark wax will really play into that. And I'll hold it up close so you can see it in a minute. You'll be able to see the difference. I'm going to have to paint the whole thing with this patina with the golden ticket, because there is a difference in the shades of gold.
If you wanted to make your own corbels, you could definitely get is it a
jigsaw?
A jigsaw, and do a pattern. When Zeb first started making these, he just did them all by hand. And then
you can also use like a bandsaw if you have one of those. Yeah,
MDF is going to give you like more consistent cuts. You won't have to worry about knots and stuff, and you can literally just glue them together and push them. You don't even have to use clamps, do you?
I don't use clamps with the MDF, no. The wood you would probably have to.
If you use MDF, you just use the wood glue between the layers, and then it just kind of sucks it together. And they are structural. Like you could put a little shelf up with these.
So we did a bunch of those out of plywood and used them on a table that we had at display when we did the, I can't remember what was, the plant bar, when we went down to that.
Yeah, and I think that we do have a video on how to make corbels somewhere.
Yeah. There's a few of them.
If you're interested in getting power tools out, you definitely can do this yourself.
You can just, if you just look up Jamie Ray Vintage Corbel DIY, and there might even be a playlist. We haven't done it in quite a while. And when I say quite a while, like probably 4 or 5 years since I've made a corbel by hand, maybe even more. Just because we have the CNC, I'll usually do a prototype just to make sure it kind of looks like how I want it to look. And then I cut it out and done. We glue them together. All right, let me show you the difference between these golds. Let me know if I'm not focused, Jamie.
Okay. Nope, it's good.
So you can kind of see here, this is the old kind of bronzy. It's almost leaning like a mix between copper and gold to me. And then this is more of I think the golden ticket is more of like a true gold metallic. And then, but I'm gonna paint up the whole thing. But I got all those white spots covered. It's already looking a lot better.
I want to make sure this base coat is really good. I'm not going to be as particular with the milk paint because I don't care if I get paint everywhere because I want to take some of it off. But I want to make sure this MDF is well covered. I don't want any peekaboos.
Because I'm going to dark wax this, I don't think I'm going to go crazy on the coverage. I just want to make sure those white spots have good coverage. Where there was either a hole in the original plaster or I added the air dry clay.
I told Zeb, I'm like, well, I got to go back to England because I only saved myself 2 oils and I want to do all oil paintings in this main living area and have one more wall that needs.
Here, I'll show you. I think we can rotate the camera. It's plugged in, but I think you guys might see like the laptop and things. Let me know what we can see. So this one we got that last trip. And then these 2, we got this trip. Jamie
sorry, it's blurry. There you go. And then you can see our mudroom. Oh, and my bra. That's nice in the hallway.
I don't think they can see that. I think only you can see that.
Yeah, no, they can. It's on the stairs. It's all right. Last night, I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So I took it off and I put it. That's where everything goes to go up the stairs. I hang it over the banister. But anyways, those are my 2 new prizes I saved for myself. If you guys were waiting on those to be sold, those ones are not going to be available unless I find something better I like later. The one on the top is Georgian, so it's pretty old. The one down below is probably more like 80s, 90s, but they're both oils. And then the sheep one that's on the left is from 1908, and that was from last year. That one is nice because it actually has a date underneath the signature. And the one below, I don't even know if the one below has a signature. I'm not positive, but it's the one below is probably my favorite that we've got. They're all really good though. Yeah, they're all really great art and they're fun. And then I do have a framed print where I want to put another oil that I got from Miss Debbie Beard that I do love, but I just want to keep it consistent in here. And much to Zeb's chagrin, I am planning on doing a gallery wall going up the stairs. It's fine. So I can learn to not bump into the wall when I'm hauling stuff up the stairs. That, though, I'm probably not going to do oils just because kids running up and down the stairs. I'll probably do print. So I really just need to find the frames that I want, and then I can Zeb can print me some prints for the frames. And the frames are hard, too, because I like a particular style of frame. And they're super spendy unless you can, like, find them in the wild. We do have some prints in our closet that Zeb's been hoarding because he wanted to work on some decoupage papers with them. So maybe I'll bust those out and hang those up too. And then we could just pull them down whenever you get around to it. Okay. Is Caitlin still dropping links? Yeah, she's on here. Do you need some links? So tomorrow is an exciting day. Not to shift gears, but we're going to semifinals. Semifinals are played up at the University of Utah. It's a huge stadium. I think it holds like something like 50 or 60,000 people. We will probably only fill up about a third of one side, but it's impressive how many people show up to these Lehigh football games when we go up there. And it's early in the morning because the Utes have, like, I think they've got a game or practice or something. So we can't kick them off their field all day long. So it's at like 11 o'clock on a Thursday. The kids are all excited because they're getting out of school. And yeah, all the schools in Lehigh have way less attendance if there's a state semifinals game. We went yesterday and I got new Carhartts. They did not have the level 4s. They only had level 3s, but I've lost some weight since I bought my first set. And they would let way too much air in. So I do have some level 4 Carhartts for a good deal. They're in good condition. I just put them in Jamie's closet. So if you've been wanting some, they're an extra large, loose fit, and they're decently long. I always felt like they were a little long on me, and I'm 5'5". So well, they're overalls, so you just adjust the shoulder straps. Yeah, but even adjusting them, I felt like they were a little long. So if you're a little tall, they'd be good. Well, so to put it in perspective, Jamie's like, you should try them on before we sell them, see if they fit you. They did not, but they were right in the length, though. The mirror is not listed, guys. That mirror, will get that listed today. We'll probably have a majority of the England stuff listed. We got to film some videos, so we'll see how much we get done. We did do a drop last night, so check that out. Caitlin sent a push, but we're to like half a bench full of goods and then some copper that needs to be polished. I've got to get it done because I feel like I need to deep clean before I finish decorating for Christmas, and I can't do that when there's like England stuff on my bench and it's been there for a month. That's why we try to rush to get it all listed to get it out of the way. All right, these are all painted up finally. What are we at? 20 minutes in. It's okay. I'll get these finished before we're done. The milk paint will go on faster because it's thinner. I'm not worried about it.
I might actually get to other projects. This is not gonna, I got to get the mirror in it, but I don't think it's going to take as long as I thought. I am going to heat gun it though.
I do have some corbels available. They're just like single ones. I have one that's like wood. That's like what we have over here. You probably can't see it. It's behind the Jamie Marie Vintage logo, but let's see if I can. I'll have Zeb mess with the camera. It's on the shelves over here. And then I have a couple odds and end pieces.
What corbel? Oh, they're holding up the shelves.
Yeah, I have one of those wood ones in there. Caitlin's dropping the link. And then I think there's one of these little ones left, and then a couple.
So you have paint running right down your forehead.
Where? Can you get it?
It's right there, but you're probably going to have to rub hard.
All right. Well,
I wouldn't sweat it too much. You're cute.
I'm like, it happens. Let me go look in the mirror. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, now it's worse. Okay, I'm going to be a second.
All right. So I'm just going to dry this out so that I can get it to the point where I'm going to do wax. And it'll also help that air dry clay dry out a little bit too before we, because the air dry clay, I use little bits of it, but if you have like a big thick mold, it can take a while to dry, like several hours. Now sometimes you come back next day. You've had that on a while.
That's all right. Now I have I only have tinted moisturizer on, so it's probably not too.
You got like a streak? Oh no, it's fine. You're looking good.
I found this. If you noticed, I was a little red and peely on Saturday. I just got another. Once a year, I go take care of my skin and get a micro needling and a peel. And so I've been wearing just tinted moisturizer so it doesn't look all flaky. And I actually really like it. It's like a moisturizer foundation. It's a moisturizer, tint, and sunblock all in one. It's kind of spendy, so I'm hoping it lasts a long time.
What I should do is make a big mold of this antique mirror here and use it for like clock faces and things.
Yeah. Maybe you should show. Do we even have the stuff to mold it with? Probably not. So maybe don't put the mirror in because it'll be a lot easier to mold otherwise.
It has some imperfections.
But how much resin would it take to do that?
Oh, that'd probably take a whole bottle. But I mean, how cool would that mirror be?
Yeah, I feel like that would be worth it. You don't even have to do a mirror. You could just do a frame and we could put prints in them.
Yeah, prints and stuff.
All right, I'm waiting for this water to get warm here. You can also use an immersion blender to mix your paint. I'm using a kitchen fork because I buy them at the thrift store for like 25 cents each, and so I don't really care. I'm
heat gunning this, and you know how like when the sun hits like old things, they kind of like gives it a smell, or when they warm up, like it smells like an old wood floor that's warming up is what it smells like. Old barn almost. This plaster does.
Can you mix pennies from heavens and golden ticket? Yeah, they're both water-based. Anything that's water-based, you can mix. Like you can mix the clay-based DIY paint with the cottage color. The only difference is the more clay-based you put into your cottage color, the less sealer you're going to have, obviously, because the sealer is what, like, it just changes the properties because the clay-based doesn't have any sealer in it. But you can mix them, yes. Are there going to be Black Friday sales? There's always some Black Friday sales. I can tell you DIY.
We got some fun things coming for you guys.
DIY paint's not going to be included because it never goes on sale. But so definitely, if you want the new colors, order those ASAP because we're going to be crazy busy. All right, I think I got it mixed up pretty good here. Like I said, you can use a
All right, I think I've almost got this ready for wax.
All right. You guys see that I'm using Ocean. It just happens to be what I had. The milk paint color of the month, I believe, is Curry. That's 35% off for the entire month.
Do you
And
have dark
Farmhouse
wax?
Finishes, I think, is it Marigold? I can't remember what shade in Farmhouse Finishes. Farmhouse Finishes is milk paint that doesn't chip as much.
I'm putting some little screws over in this, so don't dump it out.
All right. I'm going to rinse my brush out because I don't feel like grabbing a new brush.
All right, so now that this gold is dry, I don't know that you can really even tell that I painted it. This is kind of the gold it was before on the back here. Can we get, it's a little darker tone, almost a little more brassy, bronzy to me. But look at that detail on that. I think I am going to mold this. I'll get it set up to put the mirror in and show you guys what that'll look like, because it's got like these little metal, I don't know if these were hammered in or glued in later, or it was molded and then they put this in while it was still curing and put the mirror in, because it does have like a little whoop over here where it looks like someone pressed on it with their hand, which, you know, I love that even more. I love all the little imperfections in the handmade stuff.
All right. Are you done with the heat gun, Sweetie?
Yeah, you got one right there though.
Oh, you already got me set up? Okay. I'm just going to finish drying these before I put the milk paint on. I don't think I'm going to have super huge contrast because the dark, it's dark and dark, but I might add some white. I don't know. I might do white wax. Might be whatever.
I have to do some more repairs. That's breaking.
Why did you quit using my immersion blender? Because when I'm just mixing up a little bit of paint, it's easier to just use a fork. That's all.
And we never cleaned it, and it was always like...
No, I still have it. It's under
up.
there. It works fine. If I'm doing a big project, I will generally use it. I've also been known to spit milk paint everywhere, and I'm on live TV, and that's just never fun. So.
All right, so I might not break these out like I was. I might have to just wiggle them out, because that broke the back of the plaster off.
Yeah, I'll get these listed later today. We're listing up all that. And then we've already got Saturday's thrift haul is going to be really good. We've got all of those items listed up. So that's fun. I was excited. You'll see tomorrow in the bins video, but I found a leather purse. I haven't found a good leather purse at the bins in a while. It's something I really like and enjoy. And there's a couple things you won't see because the kids claimed them. And my mom, I found this really pretty vintage dress, and she looked so cute in it, and she liked it, so it's hers. Yeah, we saw these mirrors a couple places. I only took the one home because it was a good deal, and we're always cautious because things can break, and I knew the plaster would be temperamental. So I'm wondering.
I'm going to have to really probably glue these in with some... They're crumbling a little bit. This frame's pretty delicate.
Can you pass me that glue?
But I have to get them out. I can't get the mirror in because it was broken like almost in half. And I glued it back together before I put the mirror back in because I knew I needed to paint it. And now I've got to take these little tabs out. I thought they would come out easier.
Okay. I'm going to put some wood glue on here. See what happens. See if it gives me more crackle and chip.
Actually, I think if I take...
You could also use Elmer's glue. I haven't done this in a while, but... And the milk paint will chip on its own, but MDF is pretty raw. Sometimes it doesn't make it as easy.
So I don't know if you saw that popped that off. Everywhere there's these they're little metal like triangles, almost like you would use to put a window in with glazing. And the plaster is rusty and it's cracking really easy.
I'm just going to do one side and see if this does what I want it to do. And if it doesn't, then I will, I'll do some wax resist on the other side.
I think I have enough of those out. I can slide the mirror back in without removing any more.
I did not dry the glue all the way. I just got it so that way it's not like smearing into my paint.
Okay, yeah, I can get that mirror in. Okay, you guys are going to see the camera, but that domed mirror.
That's really cool. You did a good job. Not that I'm surprised, but
I got to wax it still, but
I like it. I didn't even know that you need to wax it. Like, does it look like, is it too different?
No, but you can see where like some cracks are.
Okay.
That I didn't quite.
So kind of go down into the. I mean, it wouldn't hurt it to wax.
I'm just gonna light wax it. I'm not gonna go
little
crazy.
Baby wax.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not gonna do a heavy dark wax on there.
Move these out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm just using a heat gun to kind of force the crackle, being careful not to bubble the base paint. We'll see if it does what I want. You can also use a Crackle medium. We sell one. You're probably going to get better, more consistent results, but I always like to try new things.
Not using hardly any dark wax at all. Like when I wipe this back, it's just gonna give it just a little bit of age and take some of that new shiny gold newness off of it.
We got a little bit of Crackle. I'll show it up close in a little bit. I'm gonna let it dry all the way. I'm gonna keep painting. And then maybe here, can you pass me that glue? I'll add the glue in a few spots. And then I can also wet distress it to force the crackle to happen with the milk paint. You don't want it to be everywhere because most true crackle is not everywhere.
You also don't want it to look like a Crackle cheetah.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't even know if I need to wipe this back. The brush has done a good job.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, you can't hardly even really tell I dark waxed it, but it gave it the age it needed. Okay, I'm gonna wait to glue that mirror back in because I do want to try to mold this, but I have to like make a little box and shape so that I don't waste a lot of the mold medium.
Do you want to see if there's another milk paint color you'd like to use? Maybe white or something? I can do the big ones. You can do the little ones.
Yeah, let me go check and see.
Tag team and get these finished.
Well, we have other thrift finds that we can paint in the garage if you get done.
Well, I just want to get these all the way done.
Okay.
And I'm more likely to be able to do that if you help me. Yeah, the mirror is the most important thing. The frame is nice on that, but the mirror is what's the best. And now the frame looks great, so we're good. And now that I know that I can get the mirror home, I probably will do more, and I'll just.
Well, we probably should have put
I'll buy
that
more
like in a
next time.
suitcase and more bubble wrap.
You know, it's just one of those things. You do what you can. I was looking in England for a sink for our kitchen, but I just couldn't find one big enough. So there's a company called Shaw.
They're out of England.
They are out of England, and they make they still hand make fire clay sinks. And so I bought one for our kitchen because this one's from IKEA, and this is our second one because they've all broke and it's all cracked up in the bottom. Fire clay is a lot more durable. It was kind of an investment, so I kind of had to wait, but we worked really hard in England and we've sold quite a bit of stuff. So I decided that time to get a new sink. So that's going to be coming in soon.
The whole kitchen, once that stove gets here, is getting a makeover, and I'm going to have to custom build the cabinets, because these were just, you know, you probably heard us say 10 times or more. These were just like the builder grade Home Depot.
Not even builder grade, like the cheapest wood cabinets they have.
They have oak fronts, but the rest of it's MDF.
And they're not very well made, so. But we'll hopefully get the sink in here pretty quickly. I ordered it from Wayfair along with the faucet, and I'm going to be doing a little video on that because they offered us, it's like not a guarantee, but they're like, you can make a short using Wayfair products, and they happen to have the brand that I wanted, and I spent way more than they'll even pay us for the video, but I'm going to make a little short with it, and hopefully they like it, and then I'll recoup some of the cost of the sink. I think it's a new beta thing that YouTube is doing where they offer to let creators create content, and then the company can pick the ones they want.
All right, so this is flour sack milk paint. It's like a really bright white.
That's getting a little chippy. We'll let that dry. You guys see that? I love ocean. It's a really pretty color.
Am I doing the little ones?
Yep. The wee baby ones, they might need to be dried.
That's okay. Maybe I'll show you guys how to do a wax resist.
Yeah,
Jamie's showing you with the glue. I'll show you with the wax.
There. I have a large oval gold colored frame like your mirror. It has curved glass. I wonder if I could use a mirror paint to make it into a mirror.
Maybe.
Oh, like the spray paint? You can. I've used that before. It's been a while. I've done it where you do like the water or vinegar on it and speckle it and make it look old. We haven't done that in a while. I have a bunch of windows in the top floor of our shop that I need to do some projects with, and I have a few things that we've done in the past that we need to bust out again. We got an old bed that we need to make into a bench. Are these green or gray? So these are this color is ocean, is a green, slightly blue color. And then the base color is gray. So I mixed gray skies and anvil with some little black dress to create this dark kind of charcoaly gray. I just wanted a dark base color. I wasn't extremely particular about it. And I just wanted to use up a bunch of paint. So I used up some old anvil that I had. But now, of course, I mixed up more paint than I need for the project. So I'm going to have a few things I can paint in this. All
right, I have DIY clear wax. Jamie showed you, she's showing you how to do a resist with the glue. She's just kind of putting it on the edges where she wants it to crackle and maybe chip off. I'm just going to take a little of this wax and, you know, right in places where.
Yours will actually work more like a resist. This is actually more to get a chip. The paint won't not stick because of the glue, but I'm hoping it crackles and textures, and, you know, we'll find out.
So everywhere I put this wax, the paint's not going to stick that great to it. And it should come off pretty good when we heat gun it.
Can salt wash be mixed with milk paint? Yes. Yes, you can. You can even mix it in dry. So like when you have the dry milk paint, put the salt wash in there and add water and then get the texture you want.
So I'm just using real tiny little bit on my finger. It's an all natural, so it's fine if you touch it.
I'm thinking since we'll redo the countertops, we'll probably take our old countertops and cut them up and use them, like make some cutting boards out of them. And then we're going to just use a remnant because we're not going to have very much counters because the new stove that I ordered is so big. We're going to have even less space back there than we do now. So we'll be able to just use remnants.
Well, we have this big working island, and you see it in a lot of like older kitchens. They had like a little sink and a little bit of countertop by the sink so you could set stuff there, and then a stove. And then they have like huge islands, and that's where all your prep happens. And that's the same with us. We don't really prep back here. We use it to stack dishes when we're washing dishes or something.
We have a lot of people that ask us if we miss not having upper cabinets. But the truth is I would have 2 cabinets. That's it, because there's no more space. And then I have like a big hutch over there, and I like more of what's called an unfitted kitchen, meaning it's not all like modern kitchen cabinets. So it'll have like the little piece over here. I do like big fat baseboards that connect the cabinets to the bottom. So that way you don't have a kick. I don't understand. I don't even know why you need a kick plate. I feel like it's just gets crap underneath
It's so
it.
that you could really belly up to the counter.
Gotcha.
Because it lets you get your feet up underneath there.
What color are my cabinets? They are beadboard. I haven't decided. The new ones I might just paint with white linen because it has a built-in sealer. The nice thing about using paint with a built-in sealer is if you have to touch it up, you literally just bust out your brush and brush it on. Where these, if I want to touch them up, I have to paint them beadboard, let that dry, then put a sealer on. And we sprayed the sealer, so the finish would be slightly different. That's why there's just where the garbage can is, there's some wear over there, and I've not repainted it because I haven't wanted to deal with sealing it. But the DIY paint does work really good on kitchen cabinets. I've used beadboard, and in our last house, we used white swan.
Yep.
And those we put over existing cabinet finish. But I always suggest priming your cabinets with the Salvation solution, especially if you might have some bleed through coming through. It just really helps the paint stick better. Somebody said, are we getting more sheep cutting boards? Possibly. Zeb has the wood.
I've got it all set up. I just, we've been so busy since we got back from our trip.
And it's the holiday season.
And the holidays are crazy. I would expect them
January.
Yeah, maybe sometime in December or January, depending on what that looks like. We take a lot of, I don't want to say time off. Our schedule's about the same all year round.
We don't add extra things in December because we spend that time with our kids and really just focus on that. And as we've gotten older and our business is getting more established, we can actually do that. There were a lot of times when they were young that we had to work twice as much in the holiday season to actually be able to afford Christmas. And because of that, now we really just try to focus on just like hanging out with our kids. I told Zeb, I'm like, I actually want to make a list of things I want to do this year, places I want to go with the kids for Christmas.
So you can see what that wax is doing right here. And it will probably dry over that, but you can see how it just kind of beat it up instead of brushing on there. And that's what that wax does. I may have gone a little heavy. We might have to sand these and do some extra paint on here.
So
we'll see what it looks like.
The sink we bought in England is just waiting in the barn to go into the cottage, and the cottage is just waiting for us to find the time to like put it in there.
So the sink that we got from England is a London sink, and it's shallow. It's only like 5 inches deep. And they did that because they were trying to conserve water. And that's why they call them a London sink, because that's where they primarily used them. And so it's awesome, but it's not super conducive to like daily life with a big family, doing dishes, prepping meals, canning. We do a ton of canning.
That's why we're buying a new stove so we can have more area for cooking. Zeb actually cooks as much as I do most of the time. So it's not, I like the stove because it's pretty, but it's not necessarily just for me. It's like, so that way we can do all the things that we like to do and have space.
I'm excited. I can get like 3 griddles going at once.
Yeah, that makes a mean breakfast. Why not just use milk paint for the Crackle? Well, you can. This is MDF, so it's going to sew. Even though I put a base coat, I would need to put a lot of sealer to really get the Crackle. So I'm hoping this works. I'm not seeing a ton of Crackle from the glue, so it may not have worked how I wanted it to. But what I will do is I'll wet distress these and then heat gun them again, and that should help get some Crackle on here. How is the cottage doing? It's not done. We realize that we have a lot of other things going on, and so it's not top priority.
I haven't even pulled the garden out, and it's looking bad. Like, I need to go clean that up. We were talking, like, we have enough Cosmos that we're like, let's get a wood chipper so we could actually like reuse these as mulch, because it's like a forest of Cosmos.
Yeah. And we don't need the cottage finished for anything other than like to rent it out. And I don't even know if we do an Airbnb, it may not even be available all the time. We might just have pockets of time that it's available when we know we'll be around to like facilitate changing it out, but we have to hire a company to manage it. So we're getting there.
I'm getting a little crackle here where I had some of the wax. I'll bring it close so you can see it.
What's the best paint to milk with a salt wash, mixed with salt wash? I actually think DIY paint is good because it's
DIY
clay-based.
paint with the salt wash, it just like, it's like they were made for each other almost. Like it just goes together.
And you don't have to use
so
as much
well.
salt wash because it's thicker anyways. So you're starting with a thicker product, so it just lends itself to it. Vicky says, how am I supposed to stay there when I convince my husband to go until April till May? I don't know. We'll see.
I do usually knock out quite a few projects in the winter because Jamie doesn't go outside. So I'm usually running solo while she does all the administrative stuff.
And the
so
laundry
so it gives me more time to like, because she would come help me if we were doing it in the summertime, but because it's winter, she gets so cold. Like if she's out, she's tiny, so she's outside for like 20 minutes. She's done for the day. That's why she had to go get these bibs so we can go watch a football game in November.
I'm pretty tired today, actually. I was really cold last night, and I should have turned the heater up, because I was freezing. All right, I do have some chipping. Can you guys see? I don't know if you can, but not a lot. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I missed a spot. I'm going to use a rag and wet distress back down to that base coat, and then heat gun the wet distress and see if I can. And anybody that's been following us for a long time knows that Zeb and I can sacrifice the sleep and health to finish a project when necessary. But
this one's not urgent.
This one is not,
which is why it's not done.
And we're not in our 30s anymore. Zeb's going to be 43 next Wednesday.
Feels normal. Maybe because it's been like a slow, gradual thing. I don't feel like I'm any less capable now than I was in my 30s.
No. I feel like it's harder to do the, like, push myself for the all-nighters. So I'm just using water to pull back the milk paint to that gray base underneath. And then I'll heat gun it and see.
I got a lot of resist, so I'm gonna chippy off the loose stuff, and then I'm gonna give it another coat of paint. And then I'll do like what Jamie's doing and wet distress, and we'll see what we get after that. And then comes in the dark wax. We got a little crackle there too.
You could use a blow dryer too. Heat gun just works faster. So I'm getting this wet and then wet distressing it. And I am getting crackle. I'll show you in a minute. So see in the middle of this little like clover here, it's starting to chip. Sorry if it's. It's kind of blurry. But you guys can kind of see it starting to chip. And that's probably more to do with the fact that it's milk paint because I didn't put any glue down there. In fact, there's a chunk of glue right there.
Yeah, milk paint, if you heat gun it while it's still wet, will crackle and chip all on its own.
Yeah. You can do the same technique that I'm doing on a piece of furniture. So a lot of people are like, I miss your furniture videos. We do have probably a few pieces we'll get done here, but we're really cautious about doing furniture when we don't have a place to put it. We don't want to have to repaint over it, store it in the barn, whatever. And we sell more furniture in the spring, I feel like. So when we start selling more in the shop, we'll do more. All right, I'm going to leave that alone for a little bit. Work on the other side. What kind of stove? It's a Hallman is what I ordered. It's made in Italy. It's like one of the less expensive fancy stoves. I mean, it's still not, it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't $20,000 either. So it's made by the same company that makes the ILVE. It's the same. If you guys follow XM McKenna, it's the brand of stove that she put in the cottage. And I had talked to her about it. She said she did like it. The only thing I've heard is that it's a little bit complicated to figure out, like when you're first using it, because like heating it up is a little different. But I feel like we're pretty adept at like Googling stuff.
Well, and we do things often enough. Like we gotta cook with it, so it's sink or swim.
Lori, how big is a sideboard that you're painting? I would say a quart would be fine. If it's, and what color? If you're using white, I would get 2 quarts. If you're just doing the outside, not painting the inside, not painting the back, 1 quart would probably be more than plenty. Okay.
Oh. Huh. I was expecting a delivery from UPS I have to sign for.
Sorry, my phone's right here.
But that's FedEx. Unless the UPS guy's got a rental truck.
Penske, yeah, they do this time of year. Sometimes it's UPS, sometimes it's FedEx. What size of a woman's dresser? Oh, sorry. Yeah, what size of the woman's dresser? Oh, like the size of a woman's dresser. Yeah, 1 quart should be fine. Unless you're using like a really, really light shade, then 2 quarts. It is FedEx. What did you order from FedEx?
I ordered a new clip for my Leatherman.
Oh, okay.
That broke.
No, that was
and they had no, that's wrong. Yeah. They had a Black Friday sale going, and I got free shipping if I ordered more than $40, and it was going to be like $7 or $8 to ship it, and it was a $15 thing. So I was like, well, you know.
So you did some Jamie math there.
I did some shopping. got like an extra knife for, you know. I like to keep knives and tools in all the vehicles, and those Leathermans are so handy. Like it's nice to have one in every vehicle.
As soon as this is all dry, I'm going to bring it up close so you guys can see it. The contrast is not huge because the colors aren't too different, but they are really cool. And I'm thinking I was going to do dark wax, but maybe I'll do some white and clear, kind of oxidize it.
Okay, so this is the original Chippy one. This has got 2 coats. That one that I was painting there, I was just trying to get a first coat on it because we got about 7 minutes here.
Yeah, I'm just going to get this one all the way finished, and I'll work on that one off camera.
The nice thing about chipping and then painting over it is it gives you that layered look that an actual corbel on a house would have had, because they just painted over them as they got dingy. Like I need to paint mine that have been outside again, or at least pressure wash them. They got dust all over them on our front porch.
We have some bleed through in the knots that I need to get some salvation solution. I used like primer on the ones outside, but I did not use good primer, so I'm going to use salvation
I don't care
solution.
what paint you have, the sun, the cold, the freezing, the snow, it will wear and weather your paint, and you're going to have to repaint. And so a lot of your older corbels, they weren't resanding those on the house. They just repainted over to keep the wood protected. And so that gives you kind of that look when you do multiple layers over the Chippy. You get highs and lows. Like Jamie can probably show you that spot right there where it's like you can see some of the gray coming through.
Thanks, Caitlin. She's dropping links to my apron. I use this to paint him, but we have quite a few in the store. I used it in my Christmas display. I wear it year round, but it's especially cute at Christmas time. I use our peacock colored linen apron that has a cross back to bacon. I used to just use this one for everything, but now this is officially my painting apron. The thing about milk paint is you only want to mix up what you're going to use because it's not going to keep. But if you just have it in a bag in the powder form and it doesn't get wet, it pretty much lasts forever in the powdered form. So when you guys are seeing colors you like for the milk paint color of the month, order a gallon. It's the best price you're going to get, 35% off. And then you'll have it for a while.
Oh, I don't want to use that one.
No,
We
this
have
one has paint
another.
all over it.
Oh, here's one.
Oh, that one turned good.
Yeah, I got
I
some
think
good
because
chipping.
you did the dark and the white over the top, you can see the crackle a lot better. I'm going to pull this up close for you guys, though. Does skeleton key have a hint of blue? Yes, it does. Depending on what other colors and lighting you have, that'll change what it pulls. So there's a few colors that'll change depending on the lighting in the room, and skeleton key is definitely one of them.
All right, hold your fingers for the close up. It's coming.
Zeb, can you
Cross
tell
your
me if they
fingers.
can see?
Yeah, just hold it still and they can see it. Push it up. There you go.
So it's starting to chip. I'm going to go grab the white wax. And I don't care, like, if it's chipping up like this and has texture, I'm not going to sand that off. That's what makes it look legitimately old. So I'm going to leave it.
All right, now that I've got most of the loose stuff off, I will heat gun it again, and it'll get crackly and chippy again.
One of the more important things about doing finishes like this is you can't be so particular and go, oh, it has to look like this. Because when you're layering things using milk paint, it kind of has a mind of its own, and you just got to go with it. You got to give up control. Also, does anybody notice that I have a new canister back here? If you watched the video from Monday, you saw Zeb expertly remove that from the cutting board, and I kept it for myself.
So I was going to heat gun it, but it was so far under, it was just going to burn the wood, and we wanted both pieces. So the putty knife worked good to get that off. All right, so you can see some of my crackle, some of my chipping. I got highs and lows. I got some good chipping down here where I put some of that wax. I had a big spot of wax right here. You can see I got that really good crackle there. And it's just kind of, you know, I think I'm going to dark wax it because that's going to bring us full circle, but I'll clear wax it first because I don't want it to get like real dirty, grungy looking. I also put a good amount of wax right here on this spot here. So you can see all the varying different things. Like Jamie used wood glue. I used the DIY wax. I actually think Crackle wise, you're going to get faster results
I feel like
with
the wax was better. I wanted to try it because people asked us about it. So I'm using this white wax to kind of oxidize it. And this is actually going to show you more of the crackle. Let's clear wax. Where's the clear wax? Can I have that, sweetie?
Yep. Here, while you're at it, do mine. That way I can dark wax it.
All right. Well, it's still wet in that crack.
There we go.
But I'm busy with this, so it might be a minute.
That's fine.
All right. I'm going to bring this up close so you guys can see what the whole thing's going to kind of look like.
Honestly, if you wanted like a real authentic look, I would you don't have to do the waxing, just leave them chippy. And
well, this white wax is actually going to bring out.
And you could do like some
layers.
decrepit dust in some places and just brush it. And if you're from the school of I just want to paint the corbels, I don't want them to look chippy at all, skip all these steps and just paint them.
Can they see this okay, Zeb?
Yep. All right, move it up. Pull it back away a little bit. Right there, that's perfect.
All right, now I can wax yours.
Thank you.
And then I'll finish mine off camera. If I was putting these outside, I would seal them with an outdoor sealer or Sweet Pickens Final Finishes. It's not technically rated outdoors, but we've used it outdoors with no problem.
Well, and the gray that's underneath with the cottage color, that's got a built-in sealer in it. So you should be, it's not going to go past that, at least not the first year.
But the wax is still not cured, so it's kind of shiny. These make great little bookends.
Oh, I was going to dark wax that.
Okay.
Oh, you've used my
Yeah,
dark
you're gonna
wax
need another
brush
brush.
for
That's
a
mine.
white wax.
That's mine. Have you ever made Christmas ornaments out of canning jar ring lids? Yes. I've also used them on like lids to the top of the candles, like the antique candle co lids. And I put molds directly on the lid and then painted them. And we made some really cute ornaments that way. You can actually just buy the solid lids so they aren't, I don't like the 2-piece lids because then you got to glue them together. But you can buy just solid jar lids or just reuse spaghetti jar lids, candle jar lids, whatever kind of jar lid you have, and then just put IOD molds on them and just drill a hole, and they're super cute. Okay, that side's finished.
Okay, this is gonna get dirty, but we have the clear wax on there, so it should come off okay.
Should.
And if I need to, I can just add more clear wax and just keep wiping it back and it'll come off pretty good.
If I wanted them to be whiter, I could put more of the white wax on there, but I want it to be kind of whiter in some areas and not as white in others. So I just kind of spottily hit it and then spottily, and then I'll just hit it with clear wax and that'll really just kind of smooth it out and offer some sealing protection.
All right, I'm almost there. Then I'm gonna wipe this back and that'll really make all that crackle stand out and give it like that good authentic look. Like we didn't just paint this 20 minutes ago. Okay, before I wipe it back, this is what it looks like. And this is one that is waiting for its second coat.
White wax and dark wax. Like the white wax works for this application because the base color is so dark, but what it really just gets down into all the crackle made by the milk paint or the wax resist and makes it show. It just, without it, you don't get that look, and then you do all that work and you don't see it. So I'm doing extra work. I want people to know I did the work. Oh, that's pretty dirty here.
Yep. That's right. I like a good dark wax. Okay, so wiped it back. It's a little darker and splotchier because it's still wet. But clear wax back over the top of that.
It almost works like an eraser.
It's not going to bring it all off, so just keep that in mind. Once you dark wax, you're committed to the dark wax.
No, we have skeleton key, Lori. I don't know why it's not showing up. If you still can't find it and Caitlin doesn't link it, you can email info@jamierayvintage.com and Caitlin will make sure you can find the link for the paint. Oh, we can show them that frame again too before we go so you guys can see all the finished projects.
Oh, yeah.
I need that clear wax when you're done.
Okay, hang on.
I got this. I can wipe it off when you want to.
I got it mostly.
Okay.
Now that's really moving. It's coming off pretty good, but it's hanging in the cracks. The dark wax is still in the crackle, which is what you want. At least that's what I want.
Thank you, Caitlin. She dropped the link to the skeleton key for you. There's like so much detail in here. You gotta like.
I know. We have some simple ones that I made for Debbie when we went to her place and did that very first collab we did with her.
Maybe some more like that. Mm-hmm. Cortrina sent me the link to like how to like age your nutcracker, because we have a couple nutcrackers at the shop, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I have that in me. I think this year they might just look normal, and maybe next year I'll start earlier redoing my nutcrackers. Because
we almost got to do it when it's warm and spray paint them because they're plastic, and then you can do like your base layers over the spray paint.
Well, somebody used like rub and buff on an entire nutcracker. I'm like, oh my goodness, the hours that would take. I would get bored halfway through and lose interest.
So you guys can see where it crackled. We got it down to the base gray. This is probably the best spot on the back. And this side here. Still got some dingy dark wax that I didn't get out. I'm going to leave it. It's got some highs and lows right now. It probably will get a little bit brighter white as it dries because it's wet. The paint's all wet right now. Basically that wax soaked into that milk paint. But these will be all sealed up and good to go.
All right. I'm still working on the front of all these whoop-de-doos. The front's a little splotchy, so I'll fix that. But look how cute these are. Super subtle, not like crazy contrasty, but in real life, once these dry, they're going to look great. You could use these for a shelf. You could use them for books. Here, where's your other one you finished?
It's right here. And before we started, if you came late to the video, at the first of the video, this is a antique mirror from England that broke all the pieces, and I had to glue plaster back on, and then it wasn't looking good. So we filled in some cracks with air dry clay and painted it with the golden ticket.
All right, guys. Yes, this is Flower Sack Ocean, and then the base color, I mixed Anvil and Gray Skies, clear wax, white wax, dark wax. You can pick up all these paint products, the patinas, the golden ticket patina, and the gold wax at JamieRayVintage.com. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit that share button, and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
See you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys. Hey, Kelly. Glad this is your first time watching us. We'll see you next time.